Ever wondered how the loss of a single tree can disrupt an entire ecosystem? It's a question that might seem a tad dramatic, but the reality is far more alarming. Let's take a moment to talk about a term you may not have heard before: habitat fragmentation. This is what happens when larger habitats get broken down into smaller, isolated patches. It's like taking a beautiful, sprawling forest and transforming it into a smattering of disconnected woodland islands. Now you might be wondering, what causes this fragmentation? The usual suspects are deforestation and urbanization. It's a global issue, but let's zoom in on the rainforests, for example. These lush, vibrant ecosystems are being sliced and diced at an astonishing rate. To give you a sense of scale, every year we lose 18.7 million acres of forests. That's equivalent to 27 soccer fields every minute. Picture that for a moment. It's like watching your favorite nature documentary on fast forward, only it's not a film, it's our planet. But why does this matter? Well, imagine you're an animal living in one of these fragmented habitats. You're cut off from your food sources, your mates, and your migration routes. Your very survival becomes a game of chance. And it's not just about the individual animals, it's about the whole ecosystem. When habitats are fragmented, the balance of these intricate networks of life gets thrown off. Some species may disappear completely, while others may proliferate uncontrollably. This can lead to the collapse of entire ecosystems, impacting not only wildlife but also millions of people who rely on these ecosystems for their livelihoods. Habitat fragmentation is like a silent storm, slowly ripping through our natural world, leaving a path of destruction in its wake. It's a crisis that often goes unseen, as we tend to focus on the more visible effects of environmental damage. But it's a crisis nonetheless. And so we return to our opening question. Ever wondered how the loss of a single tree can disrupt an entire ecosystem? Well, now you know. This is the unseen crisis that is habitat fragmentation. What price does the Earth pay when we take more than it can replenish? To answer that, let's delve into the concept of overexploitation, an environmental issue that's as serious as it sounds. Overexploitation occurs when we humans harvest species from the wild at rates faster than natural populations can recover. And it's happening right now, on a scale that's as vast as it is alarming. According to the World Wildlife Fund, over 85% of the world's fisheries are pushed to or beyond their biological limits due to overfishing. That's a staggering number, isn't it? It's like having a bank account and withdrawing way more than you're depositing. Eventually, you'll run out of money. In the case of our planet, the currency is the biodiversity that sustains us. And it's not just our oceans that are being overexploited. Our forests, too, are being depleted at an alarming rate. The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of our planet, loses an area larger than a football field every single minute due to deforestation. That's a lot of oxygen-producing trees we're losing, and a lot of carbon dioxide-absorbing foliage gone. The consequences of overexploitation are both immediate and long-term. In the short run, we're seeing species extinction, habitat loss, and a decrease in biodiversity. In the long run, we're looking at a destabilization of ecosystems, which could lead to a ripple effect of environmental crises, including climate change. Overexploitation also has a direct impact on us, humans. It threatens our food supply, our access to clean water, and our ability to combat climate change. It's a ticking time bomb, and it's set to affect every single one of us. So the price the Earth pays for overexploitation? It's steep. It's the loss of biodiversity, the destabilization of ecosystems, and the threat to human survival. Overexploitation doesn't just deplete resources, it threatens our very existence. So how can we change the course of this destructive path? Let's start by discussing potential solutions to habitat fragmentation and overexploitation. One of the most effective ways to combat these issues is through sustainable practices. For example, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, has identified over 200 sustainable fishing practices that could significantly help restore our oceans. These practices range from using more selective fishing gear to reducing bycatch, and if adopted globally, they could turn the tide against overfishing. Another crucial solution is conservation efforts. This could involve protecting critical habitats, restoring degraded ecosystems, and reintroducing species into their native environments. Conservation organizations around the world are already doing incredible work in these areas, but they need our support to continue their efforts. On a larger scale, governmental regulations can play a pivotal role. Governments have the power to enforce laws that protect biodiversity, limit harmful practices, and promote sustainability. Some countries have already made significant strides in this direction, implementing regulations that have resulted in tangible improvements in their local ecosystems. Yet, it isn't solely up to organizations or governments. We, as individuals and communities, also have a role to play. This could mean making more sustainable choices in our daily lives, supporting conservation efforts, or advocating for stronger environmental policies. Remember, every action, no matter how small, can contribute to a larger, collective impact. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of these issues, but it's important to remember that change is possible. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But with concerted efforts from individuals, communities, and governments, we can start to shift the balance. The future of our planet is in our hands. Together we can make a difference. Let's not wait until it's too late. Let's start now, because every step we take towards a more sustainable world is a step in the right direction.